Hi, I'm Ellie from crystallinks.com. Today is Sunday, December 12th, 2021 for 12.12.21, which equals 9, which has something to do with endings of things in numerology. Today, I'm really here to talk about the tornado outbreak that swept across the mid part of the United States on Friday night into Saturday. It's historic. Some people say that it is the worst outbreak of tornadoes the country has ever seen, causing devastation and death. Some of the people remaining missing at this time. It swept across Arkansas, Illinois, Kentucky, which got hit the hardest, Missouri, Mississippi, and Tennessee. But that's not to say, that's the center part of the United States, but that's not to say that other states that usually do not have a lot of tornadoes are not seeing them as well, because they are. I live in Brooklyn, New York, and we've had storms that have brought tornadoes here and in other places in the Northeast. Nothing is really exempt anymore from any weather pattern. Even Hurricane Ida, which was in the Caribbean and hitting the states, Louisiana got hit hard, New Orleans, those states, it went all the way across up here to the Northeast and caused devastation. There's nowhere to run, as they say, and there's nowhere to hide. I've been talking about climate change for as long as I can remember, because I consider this end times in a simulation, which is another blog for another day. But as end times come closer and closer to what I call that 0 point, and everything just fades to black, including you and I and my chair and everything else, things accelerate, and not in a good way. Of course, we look around at the world and we say everything is broken. We have COVID, I call them C words, but we have COVID, which is continuing to, new variants are happening. It's continuing to mutate. And at least we have the vaccines, so the mutations are not, killing people as much as they used to. But there's just so much out there, that COVID is for another day. But we're dealing with a lot of things. Some people can handle it. Some people are getting anxiety prone. People are just looking at every facet of what's going on outside of their sphere to what's going on within them internally, the increase in anxiety disorders and everything else. You can't change what's happening with just about any of it, because it's all programmed to go this way at the end of the simulation. So the fact that climate change is hitting everyone, everywhere, every country, one way or another, it's a given. And if they haven't been hit by anything with climate change, they will be. Yesterday, I just thought to update. I don't know why. I thought I got to update my files on tsunamis. I have a little index and I have a few files in there. And I went back and I looked at them, and I'm not expecting a tsunami. That's at the end. At the end of the simulation, the tectonic plates, which are broken across the country, across the world, are going to domino out, and that's going to be the end of it. I mean, then we see tornadoes, then we see things we've never seen before. But I don't want to get even more gloomier than I am. These tornadoes hit. They were predicted to hit. They were predicted to hit hard. And, people live, maybe you're one of them, live in this space where it might down the road, some house might go, blown away, or this happens. It happens to everyone else. It's not going to happen to me. And I'm just going to go about my life. There's no more living in denial about climate and natural disasters and COVID and broken people and broken world. You can't live in denial. If you haven't figured out that we live in a simulation and that's why everything is broken and accelerating exponentially towards an end, then do some reading, do some inner searching, do some meditation, do whatever you need to do to get answers. Go online. I mean, it's out there. The scientists know what's happening. You know what's happening. I know what's happening. All you can do is the best you can do to protect yourself and your family, because we're not that many years away from the end. I mean, it's just, it depends who you ask. And if you think that this is some metaphysical pseudoscience theory that I have, it's not. You can just see what the scientists are writing. Look and follow the climate changes and the natural disasters. When COVID started, I had predicted it. I'm just a quickie on COVID. I said it is not going to go away. It's part of the closing of the simulation. It is not going to go away. It will morph into into the variants, and it will sweep across the world, doing havoc here and havoc there. So that's COVID. And then the fourth C word that I blog about is crime. And we know what's happening. People just don't care anymore, though. Bunch of people will just get out of a van, run into a store, break things, grab things, run out. And if they get arrested, they say, all right, I'll be out of jail soon. So there's just so much that can go wrong. You can blame society. You want to blame politicians. Politics is broken. Politics was always broken. American politics, no different. Maybe some political systems are considered more democratic than others, but the political systems of why everything was set up to be broken, because that's the bipolar nature of our simulation. In order for it to be physical, physical bodies, physical chair, physical everything, to be physical, you need duality or polarity. That's your electromagnetic energy, your North Pole, your South Pole. Forever trying to come into balance, how you meditate for balance and all that, but that's not the algorithm. When things are in balance, the economies, whatever, when things are in balance, they're going to go right out of balance again, because we're only following an algorithm. Yeah, are we ones and zeros in a simulation? Yep, we are, but I've talked about that before. So here we are. Let's get back to climate. We're at the end of a simulation. And that means that things are not going to get better. And honestly, I'm really usually a very happy, bubbly person, but I got to tell it like it is, because this is what I'm here to do. Things are going to accelerate exponentially, and it's going to get difficult. It's going to get very difficult to live. So whatever you can do to prepare, like let's say you want to get a backup generator for your home. So if the power goes off, so you could have some heat or, electricity, or keep your food safe, the refrigerated food, all of these things. Think about it, do the best you can to prepare for what we call the inevitable. In terms of your personal safety, you have to do what you have to do. You should always keep your car filled with gas. You should always look at how we learned from the toilet paper taper last winter with COVID, always be well supplied, have paper products. Most importantly, have food, water, money, cash. You got to have cash in the house, because if the power grids goes down, who's going to take your credit card? Okay, so you need to prepare for the worst. I mean, the worst that happens is you're left, if you prepare now before the winter, you're left in the spring with 24 extra rolls of toilet paper. You're going to use them. It doesn't really matter. So you have to prepare. In the terms of food, I know a lot of people like to get a lot of food and freeze it, or cook a lot of prepared food and freeze it, but you also need canned goods too. And maybe if you don't have an electric can opener to open, get flip tops. There's soups that come flip top, vegetables, anything that, if the worst happens to your community, be it like this, be it a tornado, whatever happens, hurricanes, tornadoes, storms, you have something you can eat. You can flip the top and drink it out of the can if it's a soup, I mean, you have to think about it. You have to get creative. You have to get out of that self-absorbed space you probably are getting into now around the holiday time. Like some people, it's, oh, woe is me, my anxiety is just off the chart, and this is happening, and I hate my job, and I hate this, and blah, 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 blah. That's emotions. Get out of emotions and get into your head and think, this is what I need to do for me if you're alone, or for my family if you're part of a larger sphere of people, and prepare for whatever could happen with the climate. I live in the Northeast, so climate-wise, of course, there's storms. I mean, some winters we have no storms, but most winters we have about two deep ones. And since I live in Brooklyn, it takes a while till they clean it. I know people who live north of the city, they just come and, they just take it away and they throw it anywhere. We don't have anywhere to throw snow. So that's also part of climate. So you got to figure, okay, the weatherman is saying, we're going to have a blizzard in 2 days. He didn't say it, but if he did, you can say, okay, I am prepared. It's about preparedness, but it's also reality check. When it comes to climate, it's reality check. And even if you hate television and you hate watching the news or you hate looking at the news online or whatever, got to follow the weather patterns. You got to be on top of things. If politics doesn't, turns you off, then don't follow it. I don't follow it anymore. I'm done. Whatever is going on out there, you need to be aware. And even if you're one of my clients who tell me, I don't follow any of this stuff anymore, and then you start talking about a topic, yeah, they know what's going on. In the real world, going in like a couple of weeks to 2022, you have to know that things are collapsing. There is no mythological God. There is no magic wand. There is no president of whatever, the United States or a corporation or a country who can come in and fix it. There is nothing but a broken reality with broken people in a broken simulation that is about to end. And that's it. Keep that at the back of your mind. If you're a person who's more from the emotions, and yes, I did feel, I'm not emotional, I'm more from the mind than I am, from the emotions. But if you do look at the people who are in the states, especially Kentucky, who have been hit by this current tornado outbreak. And if you want to contribute, to helping them, if there's anything you can do to help them, then do that, because the cold weather is coming and those states do get, they're not warm weather states, most of them. They do get their snow and everything else. We do the best we can. We are programmed for the most part to help each other. Okay. But when helping somebody else, just be leery also. People, I know this sounds cruel, but people collect donations to help somebody. Where's the money going? If you know it's going to a good place and it'll help people, great. If you want to take some people in, who maybe perhaps sadly have lost their homes and their belongings due to this tornado or other climate event, then do it. But also know that they may not have the wherewithal to leave. So think before you give of yourself, you give of your heart. Just do the best that you can. It's sad. I know that there are people out there who are programmed to help anybody, anytime, any place, whatever. There are people who are going to go to church now over Christmas holiday, whatever church they belong to, whatever their belief system is, and they are going to pray, God, why are you doing this? That's mythology. There is no God up there saying this is going to happen. No, it's just a simulation. That's all it is. And it's following its algorithm. It's math and physics. And that's what we are. And if you're going to say, Ellie, do you think we're ones and zeros? Yeah. Yeah. And the ones and zeros are coming down to the 0 point where this ends, it fades to black, and poof, you take it from there. So again, we watch what's going on in the middle part of the country. We watch and see what's going on in our own communities, as winter is just about 10 days away, 9 days away. And all we can do is hope for the best, because we can't change anything. You do not do the whole free will thing with me, that like, yes, if we pray, yes, if we light candles, yes, if we sit under the light of a full moon, or whatever you want to believe, that we can change. Or if we tell aliens to fix it, there's no aliens fixing anything. Okay, that's done. It's all done. Sit back, follow the news peripherally, if you want to follow every little aspect of it, fine. But just know that climate change, natural disasters, end time pandemics, and other events are here. They're accelerating into 2022. People have asked me for my predictions. That's the best I have. I can't sit here and tell you this one will be assassinated or this will happen or that will happen or whatever, because I don't know. I don't get that information, so I'm not going to pretend that I do. And in the past, when people used to make predictions about what's going to happen the following year, they were vague, they were not specific enough, and they were wrong. I don't play that. I'm just not into any of that. But let us hope that you're safe wherever you're living, whatever you do to protect yourself and your family. And that's all I can say for myself as well, that we just hope everybody is safe. So on that note, to be continued, thank you so much for listening. I appreciate it.